The Count of Monte Cristo, written by Alexandre Dumas in 1844, remains one of the greatest adventure novels of all time. It is a masterpiece filled with betrayal, injustice, hope, transformation, revenge, and ultimately forgiveness. The story unfolds in early 19th-century France and Italy, during a period marked by political chaos after the fall of Napoleon. Dumas uses this turbulent backdrop to create a tale that is both epic and deeply personal. At the heart of the novel stands Edmond Dantes, a young sailor of extraordinary talent and kindness. At the beginning of the story, he is only 19, optimistic, loyal, and ready to take on the world. He is about to become the captain of the ship Pharaon and is engaged to the woman he loves, Mercedes. His future seems bright, but his rising success creates jealousy among men around him. This jealousy becomes the foundation of Edmond's tragic fall. The three central conspirators who destroy Edmond's life are Danglars, who envies his professional success. Fernand Mondego, who desires Mercedes for himself. And Catullus, who is simply greedy, weak, and unwilling to prevent injustice. Together, they craft a false accusation that Edmond is a supporter of Napoleon, a dangerous label in a fragile political environment. Despite being innocent, he becomes an easy victim of manipulation and corruption. Edmond is arrested on the day of his wedding celebration, tearing him away from everything he loves. The betrayal becomes even more bitter when the corrupt magistrate, Gerard de Villefort, decides to imprison Edmond permanently to hide his own family's political secrets. Villefort's selfish act ensures Edmond's disappearance without trial. He is sent to the notorious island prison, Château d'If, where he spends 14 years in darkness and despair. In the dungeons, Edmond transforms. At first, he is heartbroken and hopeless, but everything changes when he meets Abbé Faria, an older prisoner and a brilliant scholar. Faria becomes Edmond's mentor, teaching him languages, science, philosophy, history, and, most importantly, revealing to him the existence of an unimaginable treasure hidden on the island of Monte Cristo. For the first time in years, Edmond finds meaning, hope, and purpose. However, Faria dies in prison, leaving Edmond devastated but spiritually reborn. Using one of the most clever escape scenes in literature, Edmond hides inside Faria's burial sack and is thrown into the sea. He emerges free, reborn in every sense. After retrieving the treasure on Monte Cristo, Edmond becomes incredibly wealthy. With his new identity as the Count of Monte Cristo, he famously states, "The world is mine." This transformation marks one of the great metamorphoses in fiction, from a naive, innocent sailor into a powerful, calculating, and almost mythical figure driven by justice. He begins to rebuild his life, not through simple revenge, but by playing the role of a mastermind who exposes corruption, evil, and greed. Dumas paints the Count as both angelic and demonic, someone whose intelligence is unmatched, yet whose methods become morally complex. The second half of the novel unfolds as the Count enters the Parisian elite society under various disguises. He meticulously investigates the lives of the people responsible for his downfall. Each wrongdoer faces punishment tailored exactly to their sins. Danglars is financially ruined. Fernand, when his past crimes are exposed, loses everything, including Mercedes and his own son, and ultimately takes his own life. Villefort, the once powerful prosecutor, is destroyed psychologically by the exposure of his corruption. Catullus, the weakest and greediest of the conspirators, falls victim to his own criminal actions. Edmond does not punish the innocent. He helps those who showed kindness in the past, most notably, he elevates Morel, the owner of the ship who once trusted and supported him. This contrast highlights an important message in the novel: injustice should be answered with justice, but goodness must be rewarded generously. A central emotional thread runs through the story: Mercedes, Edmond's first love. When he returns as the Count, she recognizes him despite his disguise, showing that true love sees beyond appearances. Her sorrow at losing Edmond and her suffering in life form some of the most touching moments in the novel. Their relationship is a reminder that love can endure but cannot always be reclaimed. Edmund ultimately lets go of the past, recognizing that Mercedes deserves peace, not more heartbreak. As Edmund executes his plans, he begins to question the morality of his quest. Revenge gives him purpose but also brings unintended suffering, especially to innocent people connected to his enemies. The Count gradually understands that absolute vengeance can become destructive. When he finally realizes the limits of his mission, he chooses to show mercy, a key moment of growth that elevates him from avenger to a wiser, more compassionate man. In the end, Edmund leaves France with Haydée, the daughter of a ruler who was wrongly betrayed and who deeply loves him. Together they begin a new life, symbolizing healing and the possibility of a future beyond pain. Edmund's parting words, "Wait and hope," remain one of literature's most iconic messages, encouraging patience, endurance, and faith even in the darkest times. The Count of Monte Cristo stands as a monumental work for many reasons: its thrilling plot, its unforgettable characters, and its exploration of justice, morality, love, and destiny. With its mix of adventure, mystery, romance, and philosophical depth, it continues to captivate readers worldwide. Above all, it tells us that while life may break us, strength, knowledge, and hope can rebuild us, and that justice, when pursued with wisdom rather than hate, can restore balance to the world.